Hi, I'm Kumar Kahadpitiya from Stony Brook University. I'm going to present our work on exploiting the redundancy in convolutional filters for parameter reduction. This was done in collaboration with Rango Rodrigo from University of Moratuwa, Sri Lanka. CNN filters and their corresponding activations are inherently redundant. We can see this redundancy as the correlation between convolutional filters. In a conventional convolutional layer, we can visualize these correlations as this. Each pair of filter has a considerable correlation, which results in this redundancy. We can force these filters to be linearly independent or orthogonal, in which case the correlation matrix looks like this. However, if we restrict these filters as such, we also restrict the capacity of these filters to learn meaningful features. However, we can have the best of both worlds. We can have a set of filters which is linearly independent and a set of filters which is strictly linearly dependent. By doing so, we can control the redundancy. So how can we control this redundancy in practice? We can initialize a set of primary filters and a set of linear combinations which combines these primary filters to generate the secondary filters. And why would we do so? If we initialize as such, our learnable parameters will look like this. We have a set of primary filters and a set of linear combinations. And if this hyperparameter alpha satisfy this condition, then we can have a parameter reduction in our convolutional layer. So we propose linear con, a replacement for conventional convolutional layers, which can result in a parameter reduction. And this is designed in a plug and play fashion such that there's no requirement for any additional effort. So in the forward pass, each input goes through the same number of operations as in a conventional convolutional layer. The only difference is how we initialize the parameters and how we generate the filters. By doing so, we keep the network architecture unchanged as well as the data flow. To make the primary filters linearly independent, we propose a regularization loss based on correlation. The idea is to force the correlation matrix of the primary filters to be the identity matrix. We do this by approximating the L1 distance of this term, which is the difference between the correlation matrix of the primary filters and the identity matrix to be 0. The hyperparameter alpha, which determines the portion of primary filters and secondary filters, determines the performance of the linear con layer. Alpha is between 0 and 1. To reduce the number of parameters, which is given by this concave equation, we should make alpha as small as possible. At the same time, to increase the expressiveness of the filters, which directly corresponds to the span of the primary filters, we should make alpha as large as possible. To strike a balance between these two, we select alpha to be 0.5 and we validate this claim by our ablations. Here we present the performance of linear con layer when compared to conventional convolutional layers. We implement our layer in multiple common CNN architectures. This configuration corresponds to linear con, and as you can see, the performance represented by the accuracy here remains unchanged, and we have a slight increase in compute, but we have a reduction of parameters almost by half. So if you have any questions, you can join our Q&A session or drop me an email at this address. Our source is available online. Thank you for attending our presentation. Stay safe.